but specifically if I have a son, I want him to be able to listen to that project and understand what I was going through in my early 20s and how I felt, my whole relationship on emotion and kind of how I felt. It's more of a therapy project and like a therapy session. And then when I put it out with the label, I let them know, if y'all are looking for a bunch of starter jackets, that's not what this project is. Or if you're looking for a lively, that's not what this project is. Not to say I can't and I don't have other records like that, which I do, but for this project, it was more so, this is the concept that I have to get off in a spiritual sense, because I feel like some people need to hear this.
I can't subscribe with point lies. I come alive when I'm at eyes. Tell me why I'm riding in a 05. I provide, but they never try. I just tell it on. Keep it true.
You're watching Loud Music Only. I'm your host, A.T Bianco, and today I'm ecstatic to introduce today's artist. He's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he's such a talented songwriter who raps with a hunger behind his words. His name is Wakai. Wakai, thanks for joining the show, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm solid. Thank you for having me. I'm good.
Of
Blessed
course.
to be,
To start, I love to learn the origin story of an artist and kind of the lore of your life a little bit. You know, tell me about your upbringing in Baton Rouge, and kind of way before you started making music. What did you love doing as a child? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it's crazy. It's kind of like I always was in some form of musical setting. I got a drum set when I was 3. I also played sports, but it went hand in hand. I got a drum set when I was 3. I got a basketball goal when I was 3. So it's like I was going back and forth between the two. I have 2 older sisters who I love them very much. I grew up in a very like chill neighborhood. It wasn't too far from my school in Baton Rouge. It wasn't crazy, like just normal neighborhood you would have like in Baton Rouge. Ended up meeting different people along the way that kind of aligned with my vision and formed a collective called Cul-de-sac. In that collective, we ended up throwing shows with live bands like around the city. Then we started traveling and networking and just expanding like on like a shared ideals and trying to make like something community oriented, because we didn't see that like growing up. It was just a lot of division and a lot of people against each other, and we figured out like it's strength in numbers. So the more unified we were, the further we could get. And I mean, it's been proven. Recently we made, not to forget about my upbringing, but recently we did like a cipher for different like Baton Rouge artists. And it's like no one does ciphers out here, and no one even gives the platform for ciphers out here. So we just thought like, all right, if they're not gonna give it to the people out here, even if we aren't here that much, we should be the ones to do it. Because I mean, I remember when I wanted to get on people ciphers or their lineups or whatever it may be. So we had to create those opportunities when they weren't present, you know?
I did want to backtrack a little bit and talk about growing up with 2 sisters, maybe in a crazy household. I grew up with 2 sisters myself, so I'm just curious
Right.
as to what that experience was like for you, and maybe what you learned from your sisters in childhood.
Are you the youngest or are you the middle child?
I'm the third. I have a younger brother, so I'm kind of the middle child in a sense.
Well, I have 2 older sisters. I'm the youngest. I mean, I feel like I've had a great appreciation of just understanding how to navigate through different dynamics with women, because I have 2 sisters. And it's helped me in I guess a musical sense of understanding different layers that come just from a divine feminine place, or having like not just a lot of masculine energy and everything that I was around. I was around a lot of women at a young age. So I mean, it's cool. Like I had my middle sister, were 18 months apart, and she kind of put me on to a lot of music that helped me immerse myself into like a different soundscape than was just out here, because she went to a different high school than I went to because I played sports. And at her high school, they didn't have basketball, and I played basketball and ran track. So I ended up going to a school closer to my house, and she went to a school downtown, right? In downtown Baton Rouge. So through that, she basically was dating a bass player named Scott, and Scott was doing gigs like around the city. So all of my first shows were with his band, and she also knows how to sing, and we're just doing stuff together, like collaborating, and I was just starting to build like somewhat of a network, and that's all because of her. Like she kind of put me in spaces I wasn't even around, because we were on different sides of the city. Like we lived together, but we're at different circles because she went to a different high school. So, and then my oldest sister, she's kind of like a second mother figure, you know. She'll look out for me because it's a bigger age gap. She was born in 1990, I was born in 2000. So it's like it's a decade gap. Like when she graduated, I was 8, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just a little bit of a crazy dynamic. But I think it was cool because I mean, I was always like the cool little brother. I think when we were younger, they're kind of like, ew, that's my little brother, and they didn't want to, you know how it be. Like
Oh,
you
I
got
know.
like
100%.
but then it get to the point where it was like, by the time I was in high school, it would be different people walking up to my oldest sister saying that they like really like my music and like really like appreciated what I was doing, whether it had been them buying my merch or coming to my shows. Like I just had a cool support system at a very young age. So it kind of morphed the perception of the dynamic between my siblings. Like my brother isn't weird. That my brother's actually cool. Like are cool enough for me to hang around and even bring my friends to hang around. It's crazy, bro. I've dated some of my middle sister's friends. Like it's crazy how like it's just crazy how the dynamics are. But I can see looking back then, like, yo, that's my little brother. Like I see it now that I'm older and I got little cousins and stuff. You know, I understand why they were a little bit more pushing me away, but now we've come even closer now that we older. I think that's how it is in most relationships or dynamics with brother sister, being that we different genders too. It's a lot. We growing up in different backgrounds, honestly, like from different high schools, I'm different circles. But now that we older, we kind of understand like the overall vision of family and what family means. So we come together, and I love them. I love them immensely. Like it be times where, well, my sister, like, she doesn't release music, but it be times where I'll send her a voice memo, like just of a harmony I have for her to help me, or like it be times where I'll go, like, I'm trying to write a certain hook where I'm singing, I'll write it with her, you know.
That's awesome. It's so interesting to hear how, just because of my own experience relating to that, it's interesting to hear how our siblings, whether it's an older brother or older sisters, influence like our creativity and what we kind of get into later in life. I had
Mhm.
an experience with my sister when I was in middle school, 7th or 8th grade. She was trying out for the school musical. And she was always the singer and stuff like that. And she kind of just encouraged me to go do it and try out with her, and tried out with her, and we both got good parts. And she's 2 years older than me in middle school at that point. And so she got me into doing school musicals when I was a football player and a basketball player. Doing the musical and playing sports isn't always like the coolest thing
Right.
in middle school. So that experience for me really shaped kind of who I am now. I wouldn't be able to do interviews or anything in front of camera or anything without having that influence in my life. And it's just great to have that bond as you grow older, like mutually, like a mutual understanding with your sisters too. So I'm happy to hear that. It's very interesting. And you also said you played sports too, right?
Yeah, yeah. I hooped to, bruh. I don't even think my parents know this, but I hooped till like I want to say junior year of high school. Then I got drug tested. And then like when they drug tested me, I wasn't even about to. I knew
In
I was about to fail it.
in high school?
In high school, yeah. Like in my high school, they did random drug tests.
Wow.
Yeah, it was random, and they did them like it was random, and they would do it like every at the beginning of every season for specific people, right? But like I don't know, like for some reason that day I remember, and it's crazy because like in the season I wasn't even really smoking that much, but it's not like I wasn't on no crazy drugs or nothing. I was just smoking, but that day one of my friends had picked me up for school, and then he basically had a roach, and he was just like, you want to hit it before we go in? I was like, I don't really care. Like I didn't even really, growing up I didn't smoke before school because it was too many people for me. But
Right.
yeah, it was a roast. I was like, I might as well. Like I'm about to go sleep in homeroom anyways. Like, cause I mean, homeroom wasn't a real class. It was until you go to first block. So
Right.
I could go to sleep. So I hit it. I lay my head down. I go, the bell rings to go to the first class. I sit down. They're like, they call my name to come to the office. Then they hand me a cup. I'm like, what's the cup for? And it's like, oh no, nothing crazy. We're just doing like the normal drug test for like the different athletes. And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't even play sports anymore. So I basically in that moment just was like, yeah, like it's clipped. Like it wouldn't have been worth one failing the test, getting kicked off the team, then my people being like, you got kicked off of the team for this specific reason, like it just wasn't worth it. And then at that time I was trying to get more, I guess, eclectic in the music I was making. And that was kind of hindered from me being at practice and giving 1,000% at practice every day. And then like all season, I'm waking up trying to practice and stuff. So it ended up being a blessing in disguise, honestly.
I want to also get into how I first heard your music, what the first song was, just to kind of capture the excitement of being a fan and a music listener. So I first heard your music when you dropped Silhouette with Marco Plus.
Uh,
Um,
my brother.
and I'm a huge fan of his, and you guys have such great chemistry on every collab you guys do. And I was immediately drawn towards your ability to use your voice as an instrument. And that instrumental on that song to me just makes me feel something. I don't know how to describe it. Just really makes me feel something. Um, I consider myself a bit of an empath, so I that's why I think I love music so much. And so you have a great balance of melody and rhymes in your music. I'm just curious how you've been able to find your voice while developing your sound in making music all these years.
I mean, I think I probably went through the same, like, I guess, traditional process most I guess rappers go through, where it's like, all right, you make your first songs, either you super love them or you super hate them. For me, I would always think my voice was hella cringe when I was younger. Cause like when I was putting out music earlier, my voice was way higher than this. Like growing up, a lot of people would say like my voice reminded them of Jaden, like when I was younger. Like
Really? Okay.
this is before my voice got a little deeper. I still feel like I got a pretty bright, like high voice, but then sometimes it's deep. But I think I'm very big on cadence. I think cadence is the biggest thing for me. Like I don't want to sit on top of the beat. I want to sit inside of the beat. Personally, some people like being on top of the beat, and I think it works for certain tones. Like I think for a deeper tone, it's cool to be on top of the beat versus under. It might be a little bit too watered down. But for me, I like being in the beat because I have a bright voice. But I think it just took time, and thankfully, like I had like when my pops, he first got me into the studio when I was like 10. So like I got to see a studio, like a nice studio at a very young age. And then by the time I was 14, he helped me like put together a studio at the crib. And I just got comfortable recording at a very, very young age. I turned 24 next month. So I've been recording for like 10 years. So ever since then, I just been kind of recording, figuring out what pockets I like, figuring out how to make my songs be a little bit more conversational than just so braggadocious. Even though it's cool to be braggadocious, but even if I'm bragging, I'd rather do it in a way where it's you can tell this is coming from a real place because I'm conversing with you, like I'm speaking to you versus just speaking at you. I think a lot of rappers speak at people but don't speak with people, and I wanted to get to a place where I could start making it more of a open discourse, kind of, you know.
Talk about some of your biggest musical influences that you always kind of keep in mind and carry with you while you record.
Well, yeah, I mean, at the forefront of it, it is my parents. Of course, my older siblings put me on a lot of stuff, and I myself, like I just researching. I was just that type of kid. Like whenever Napster was out and LimeWire, FrostWire, all of that stuff, and what MP3 Rocket, like when all of that stuff was out, I'd be on it heavy. Like back when people was burning disc, I was burning disc too. I'm from that era. I was young, but I still appreciated music at a very young age. And I think my parents saw that, like, and noticed that I really cared and I really wanted to learn more and more and more about it as much as they wanted to share with me. So it really started with my parents. I say like it was divided by when I be in the car with my mom, she'll play more neo soul. So like it'll be a lot of Erica Badu, India Arie, Kareem Bailey Ray, Sade, Amy Winehouse. Like that was like more of my
Sade is, oh my gosh. I just recently listened to one of her more popular albums. Great music for a sunset, man. Like she just
yeah.
knows how to make you feel something. So you said Sade, Amy Winehouse. Those are some heavy hitters that,
Yeah,
melodically I'm sure
yeah.
influence you. What are some others?
Yeah, so that was just on like that was on my mom's side. When I be in the car with my mom, she'll play that. Then on my dad's side, so but this was before I was born. So like in the I want to say mid to late 80s, my dad was a Marine. And he was stationed in Honolulu. So my parents lived in Honolulu for like a couple years before my first sister was born. And while he was there, he was just seeing a lot of different music and like him traveling. Like he's been to Okinawa, like he's been a lot of different places. So he used to see a lot of different music. So he's put me on like the Parliament stuff, like with George Clinton, yeah, Prince, of course, and it all would be a melting pot of like psychedelic funk, soul, jazz, rock, like alternative rock. Of course, neo soul too, but in terms of the rap, my dad is very big on like lyricism. Like he cares about what you're saying. When I say lyricism, I don't mean lyrical miracle spiritual, like lyricism, like you're saying something that's evoking some kind of feeling in me, and you're not just rapping to rhyme words. He's very big on what you're saying, because I mean he's seen a lot of he's seen a lot. So same with my mom, they both seen a lot being from here. So you have to actually say something to move them. And also what I really appreciate about my mom and my dad, they really care about production. Like they only play songs if they like the beats, you know? And I'm the same way. Like I'm the same way. They really care about production. They really care about lyricism. So my dad was putting me on great lyricism, from Outkast to Scarface. I mean, because I'm in the South. So it's like he was playing a lot of Southern people, but he was also playing East Coast stuff too. Like he put me on Nas, he put me on Tribe Called Quest, put me on early Jay-Z, like Jay-Z first album. Like he was giving me like different deep cuts to help me, like, you know, give me like a little bit of a foundation to run with, which I'm very appreciative of. And I think now he's like my dad and my mom are probably my biggest fans. Like they really fuck with my music tough, like super tough. Because I've taken all of the influence that they put into me and I've formed it into my own, like what I like. Like I'm playing, like I'm beating to my own rhythm, you know? Like I'm playing with my own drums. So basically they would put me onto a lot that I could appreciate at a young age and kind of be like, okay, this is the paintbrush and I've seen different people use it like this. I'm about to use it like this.
There's a spiritual aspect in your music, and that's what I feel when I listen. It reminds me of nature, and it's relaxing. I love listening to your music outside. There's certain artists that I just love listening to
That's
music
fine. Go ahead.
outside. Um, Perfect music to, roll one up and smoke to, something like that. Um, how would you say creating music helps you spiritually? And did you ever think it helped others in that way too?
I think when I started doing more shows and having conversations with people and seeing like about I've had shows where people have cried, come up to me and cried, talk to me about certain things that have helped them with lyrics that I went through. I think I create from a more fluid place where I'm channeling spiritually from source, to the point where it's like I know I'm just a vessel and these words come out of me from a higher power than just me. So it's like, being that I know it's not just me, everything that I do is collaborative. So it's a collaborative experience. So if I'm coming from a real place and I'm channeling an emotion that is not just singular, I know more people will gravitate towards it, and it'll be something that we can all share as a shared experience. So I kind of try to always create from that place. I don't try to create from a place where I'm like spending 30 minutes on one line. Now I am very I try to be a perfectionist in the sense of I want to give you something worth hearing, but at the same time I do know as the creator there's a consumer and there is a person to listen. So I can't just create from a place. It's like having a kid. Like at the end of the day, like if you have a kid, or whenever you have a kid, like you can dress them up in a uniform that you feel serves them best, but at the end of the day they got to go outside and walk on their own. So I kind of feel that way with my songs. Like I do these in a more spiritual, like therapeutic sense, where it's like I don't have to suppress these thoughts anymore, whether good or bad, because sometimes people suppress good thoughts because they don't feel like they're worthy of being shared, or people have imposter syndrome for their blessings. So it's kind of like I feel like I can be the one to articulate for people who can't really articulate the best, you know?
Some people scream, some people talk. It released last year, and it's a great body of work. One of my favorite projects from the past year. No skips, man.
Thank you,
I,
thank
I
you.
I appreciate that. It's such a well curated album, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart there. And I want to start by learning about the meaning of this album, like the album title. Talk about the creation of the album cover. Who shot it? It's honestly also one of my favorite covers I've seen. So talk about the
Thank
creative vision behind that.
Yeah, so what's crazy is when I was thinking of the title, a lot of people don't know this, and I was waiting. I was trying to wait until this next project I was gonna reveal it. But now that I'm kind of in the rollout of this next project, all of I got into music from poetry, right? Doing spoken word at a very, very young age, like since I was a child. So for my poems, I always said when I put out albums or EPs or whatever it is, I want the titles to run as a stanza. So all of my titles are me completing a stanza of what my discography is, or what I ended up being. So and it's like I'm finishing that as I go, because my stanza is incomplete because I'm still living, you know. So basically, my first project is called "To a Dark Boy." Then the second line is "Some people scream, some people talk." And then this next project, I'm gonna name it They Ain't Want Us. Like, so like that's how the poem reads. So making the second project at first, I was gonna name it Some People Scream, Some People Cry, Some People Talk. But at the same time, I'm like, this is hella long. Cause some people scream, some people talk is long, but
Right.
at the same time, it's like I kind of look at it like I really can firmly say I'm a writer. Like I'm a writer first. Like I really care about the words that I'm saying because I mean you manifesting everything coming off of your tongue, and the power of the tongue is a very strong thing. So when I'm writing things, I like having almost like how a novelist or a journalist feels about how they put their work. I look at all of my projects almost like books, you know? So this for the second book, I feel like I was in a place of trying to figure out what was the common theme I felt like for people who look like me, or like what were the emotions people kind of felt at the time. And I felt like a lot of people at the time just was like felt like screaming in places where if they screamed, they would be deemed as the aggressive person. Or certain moments where it's like I've screamed so much I don't even have the will to feel like I can talk anymore. Or getting to the point where I've screamed so much I don't want to scream. I don't even have that energy in me. Can we talk it out? Like that's kind of where the premise of the project came in. Like I kind of wanted to make something from a place of this is just more so one day when I have a kid, I will show them that or I let them come to it. Like I'm not gonna force any of my music like on anybody in my family or when I have kids, I'm not gonna force it on them. But I do want them, like if I have a son or a daughter, but specifically if I have a son, I want him to be able to listen to that project and understand what I was going through in my early 20s and how I felt my whole relationship on emotion and kind of how I felt. It's more of a therapy project and like a therapy session. And then when I put it out with the label, I let them know if y'all are looking for a bunch of starter jackets, that's not what this project is. Or if you're looking for a lively, that's not what this project is. Not to say I can't and I don't have other records like that, which I do. But for this project, it was more so this is the concept that I have to get off in a spiritual sense because I feel like some people need to hear this. Almost kind of like an extension of a lot of people being stuck in the house during COVID, and the soundtracks to what you felt in that time was for some people was a little bit different than what was coming out. Like a lot of the music wasn't as reflective of what people were thinking internally being stuck in the house and like kind of like what those emotions were. And I kind of feel like that project was an extension of that going into society, which is now a different society, and kind of how I felt within society. And like I kind of have like a common theme of being the one to talk for the people who can't talk, or like speaking for the voiceless. Because where I'm from, a lot of people just they're in positions where they're intelligent, but due to how they look or due to how they sound, they're deemed as not. So it's kind of like when I walk into certain spaces, I do carry that with me. Like if you don't know how to say this properly for like the next person, because it isn't what you say, it's how you say it. Like a lot of people take things off of surface level, even though we shouldn't be one dimensional. But at the same time, if a lot of people don't fall into the category of having duality with music or with self-expression, I try to be that vessel for those people. So my second project was ultimately that. Like it was certain times where in the past I would let, being that I'm a chill dude, but at the same time I'm very headstrong. I'm a Gemini, so it's like it's certain times where I feel strong about what I feel, and it's like if I disagree with you, it's not to say I feel like you're invalid, but I just disagree with you. Like I can agree to disagree that you may feel that way, and that's cool. You entitled to that, but I might strongly disagree with that, and I feel like it was times where I didn't articulate myself the best emotionally to the points where I'm having screaming contests with the homies, having screaming contests with close relationships I've been in, and this is years ago, but I was more so channeling what I had to get through before I was having more prayer, before I was meditating more, before I had to learn how to recenter myself to actually be the best version of myself. That's what I felt like. And on the intro is kind of like the best embodiment of that, of someone 21, 22, 23. Like you can feel that. Like are certain things that I'm saying in the lyrics, like one day, years from now, I think a lot of people will appreciate my second project a lot as they grow and go through certain things and want to hear those things, you know? I think my first project was more easy listen. Not to say my second project isn't easy listen, but sometimes you got to talk about things people don't want to talk about so they can be in the universe so people can understand, you know? Because some people are going through things to the point where they don't feel like they can talk anymore and they want to end it all. So I want to be, let me be that voice before you make that decision there might be a second sentence to your completed sentence. Your sentence might not be complete. The chapter might not be complete. You just got to keep reading the book before you close it. That's kind of how I felt about my second project.
Talk about the album cover. It looked like you did some crazy acrobatics on that album cover of some sort.
Bro,
Talk about who shot it. I want to hear the whole
I
shoot story.
so we shot that in Malibu. It was at this it's like a trail, it's like a Malibu trail park type place, right? And there's this bridge when you walk, like, bro, I had to carry that tire, bro. I carried that tire hella long. I mean, we may have walked for like 10, 15 minutes to get to where that bridge part is. And we had to get like a heavy rope that could have my weight. I went with my manager Nick and the homie Reno, who was supposed to shoot the cover in essence. All right, so Reno, we all in the water. The water, I'm tall, bro. The water's going up to here on me. And I have to basically like use my triceps to lift myself into the wheel. And mind you, it's rubber. So bro, I bruised my ribs and all that. Like, yeah, because I had to.
You're hanging from it
I'm
too.
hanging. I'm hanging from it. I'm hanging from it. So imagine in my rib part, it's cutting. It's cutting in my rib, and I basically have to. I'm already sore. I have to lift myself up. So instantly, if any normal person get in there, your first instinct is just like this. I had to stretch my arms out, almost like biblically, like for it to have that figure or like have that figure. So
Right.
who was shooting the cover, he shot it from a different angle because I had a different reference photo that I was trying to do where you see my reflection in the water while I'm from the tire. I was trying to recreate a photo from it's a photographer. I think his name's Tyler. I can't remember his last name, but I was trying to recreate that photo, but with me in it because it was of a little kid like in the South. And I wanted to, I'm from the South, so I wanted to kind of recreate that for this project. So in the midst of doing that, Reno's trying to get the shot, and Nick walked to the top to make sure like the rope was good and I didn't fall or anything. And then he was just taking like a picture from above just to show me how I look from above. And we was in a set like a meeting with the label and we were showing them the different images of the photo. And he was like, oh, I almost forgot. Let me send you some of the behind the scenes photos. And he sent that to the label. And I color graded it a little bit. And they were like, like this needs to be the cover. And at first I was kind of like, I don't know, like, cause it's an iPhone picture. It's like I don't know if I should do it. But then like I started showing it, like I showed it to my parents, I showed it to like all the homies, and they're like, nah, bro, this is the picture. So I ended up going with it, even though in my gut I was just like I didn't already paid like to have this the homie shoot this cover, and it's kind of like this was gonna be his first album cover. So it's kind of like I wanted to give him that, but it ended up being me picking the other photo. But it's still, he ended up doing my single covers and stuff. So it still ended up working out. He got to put out music. And then the single cover he shot, they used for Fader. So he ended up getting the Fader placement. So it all worked, you know?
For '05 Honda, we have the color for it. Talk about the creative expression through that, collaborating with Malik Elijah, big fan of his too as well. Just talk about that song and maybe how it makes you feel.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, like, I went to New York and I met with Saba's old manager because at first I wanted Saba on it. And we were trying to set it up, but it's like he was working on his project, and I think he still is. Like he was working on his project with no ID. So we couldn't physically get in the same studio. So I kind of was like, I still want to put this song out. I don't want to wait till now, like to put it out. So I ended up thinking like, damn, who would, because it's such an interesting pocket, and I couldn't really hear a lot of like rappers like wanting to gravitate towards that. And then I remembered, I'm like, bro, like this is exactly up Malik's alley. So like I literally just texted him. I'm like, bro, like you trying to hop on the project? I got something. I got something for you. And I sent it to him, bro. He was like, yeah, bro, I'm at work. I'm gonna check when I can. Bro, he sent me like maybe 3 audio messages like, yeah, bro, I got you. I got like he was like he got me. He literally was perfect for it. Like it's crazy. You have the answer right in front of you and you just not looking. Or you might be looking in the wrong place, you know?
One of my favorite things to see is artists that I either talk to or hear about collab with another artist that I didn't even know they knew. I think that's so
Right.
fun. It's so fun, as that's some of the most joy I get out of doing what I do is just seeing different artists collab and how the love and creativity is shared in that sense. So this is from Alter Call. Forever sending love for every loved one that perished, surviving each era. Why I feel deprived of my air, breathing, only remind me of my grieving, coping with the fact that they leaving. For unexplained reasons, this happens every season. And I heard that, and it kind of instantly reminded me of maybe the way my emotions change per season, and
Mm-hmm.
also how certain times of the year remind me of certain points in my life, good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I felt when I heard this. So I just want to hear your thoughts on those lines, and maybe what you mean by them and how they helped you.
Yeah, like, well, in we're the only state that has, like, how most states have counties?
Yeah.
We have parishes.
Oh, you don't have counties?
We don't have county. What they would be counties, but they're
Right.
called parishes,
And that's
right?
the Louisiana is the only state that does that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
I
we're
did
the
not
only.
know that.
I think we're the only state that does this. So like where I'm from East Baton Rouge Parish. So I love, like, I talk to my homies about this who rap. I'm like, I think a lot of people appreciate me because, like, I'm very big. Like, if you really care about lyrics, you can tell I'm a great writer. I'm an elite lyricist, but my lyricism doesn't come out the same way. Maybe I need a good example of this. Someone like Jid or even Cole. It doesn't come out that way where it's like you might say something super clever and the punchline is hella unique and hella different. I don't do a lot of punchlines. I do a lot of wordplay.
Mm,
Like the fact that we have parishes, and then when someone perishes, it's like it's the same word with two different meanings.
right.
I love doing that.
It's like a
And
little Easter egg that I'll keep that in mind as I listen to more of your music. And I think that just kind of opens up the creativity. It's probably fun for you to do that while you're writing a
yeah,
song.
that's like my, like, yeah, that's my favorite part of the song, because it's like going alluding to what I said earlier, like one day, like, I'm gonna have a kid that's gonna have to understand that you're gonna meet people who are going to die, and you have to understand it's gonna be more of that, and that's what life is. Like, that it's a cycle. Like, it's a cycle. Like, everything comes, everything goes, and it comes back around. Like, so it's kind of like you have to get used to the feeling of certain moments where I'm like, I should be my happiest right now, but I get this random brush where I'm like, I'm breathing. Why am I breathing heavy? It's because I'm still grieving. And now this grief has just hit me. So it's kind of like, I had one of the moments when I was in Brooklyn. I was in Brooklyn for a little bit, finishing the project, and I just found myself very emotional like that day, and I didn't understand what it was because I had such a great day. And then I just realized, well, damn, bro, like, I've been to maybe, I'm trying to think how many, like maybe three. I think that year I met to maybe 3 or 4 funerals with my dad. And like a lot of these funerals were for family members that he lost. But then I thought to myself, I'm like, damn, I'd have been to like 3, 4 funerals by myself. Like, and then if I add up those numbers, I'm like, damn, like, this is not normal. Like, it's not normal. Like, the rate that at my young age I've experienced sermons of people grieving, or telling you how to get through grief and how to process grief, but there is no true definition of how to process it. We all have different abilities and capabilities that we gain over time to get through it and truly heal from it. Because I mean, you always, like, when you lose somebody, you lose a part of them because they're gone, but at the same time you can grow. Like, muscles break down to rebuild. So it's kind of like when I made that line, it was kind of like, I just want anyone listening to that song, or even for me, because sometimes I make these lyrics to remind myself of things, because sometimes you can do great and have a great day, and then the next day you say something that kind of breaks somebody down, and you might hurt someone or affect someone in a certain way, or you might get affected to words that was said to you a week ago, and now you processing it in real time, and like, damn, that kind of, I was affected by that, and I'm grieving. So and it'll remind me of I'm grieving, coupled with the fact that they leaving for unexplained reasons, and this happens every season. Like, I was feeling like damn near every season. Like I said, I went to maybe like six funerals every season. Like, it was literally like every season I was going to a funeral for reasons I didn't understand. I went to a funeral for one of my friends, Cozy. He got killed. Basically, it was a situation where he was with a girl and he didn't know this girl had a partner, and because she never told him, and the partner, like in just a few Jurays, walked in the room and killed him. So, and he was one of the sweetest people I knew, like a cool, like a genuinely like cool dude. And I just remember being in the funeral, asking myself like, this just does not make sense. Like I just, I've been to a lot of funerals, and for the most part, I can. It's certain times where it's like I'll get a little emotional and I'll cry, but I won't be like just confused. I think that was the first funeral I went to where I was just genuinely confused, because the last time I talked to him, he was telling me how proud he was. Like basically saying like, bro, like honestly, like you inspiring me to go into this next chapter of my life. So when he died, like literally a week later, like after I had that conversation with him, it was one of the conversations where it's crazy because I felt I felt something in him talking to me where it was like, you're telling me this for a specific reason, and you're not ending this conversation for a specific reason. Almost like you know what's gonna happen. You know your time might not be promised, or you don't know if you will see me again. That's kind of the vibe he was giving me, and I was just kind of like, and I was by my friends, and I was just like kind of like trying not cool guy the situation in a bad way, but like humbly being like, nah, bro, like
Right.
it's just me, like it's just me talking about like, yeah, like how I inspire you, you inspire me, bro. Like we all like regardless of how big we get, I'm the same person. Like we got all take inspiration from each other. And I just was trying to remind him that in the conversation, he'd be cutting me off, being like, no, bro, like what you got, you have to keep doing. Like you have to push it further than people out here. You have to push it further than people out here, because I don't want you to get stuck in a loop and feeling like you can't go further than where you can go. And that's the last thing he told me. And then a week later, I'm just like, it's crazy. He was talking to me, and
He was
it's
saying
almost
that.
like you kind of like that where it's like it's like awkward when someone's complimenting you, so you trying to like in a humble way like end the conversation, but he kept the conversation going, and it's crazy. That's the last memory I have of him talking to me. So I was just at the funeral, just confused. So when I made altar call, that's kind of something I was like channeling. Like I just couldn't explain it. That same year, my college roommate Judah, he committed suicide. So that, and when I remember I was in the studio with Asha, we made a song called Road Rage.
Love that
Right
song.
on a vibe that same day that my girl called me and told me the news. We on a vibe at a crazy studio. Like I'm in LA, like I'm soaking in, I'm being present. Then she was like, I need you to like, she takes me like, you in the studio? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you all right? She was like, step outside real quick, I need to call you. It's an emergency. So then she called me, and then she was like, Judah just OD'd. And I was like, what? And then I didn't know he had a. I just thought he OD'd on accident, because he was getting clean or whatever. Mind you, bro, Judah was a phenomenal musician. Like pick up guitar, pick up bass, pick up drums, pick up flute, pick up violin. Like bro, like every morning, bro, he was a routine nigga. Like he would put on some music I never heard, bro. I'm wiping crud out my eye, like, and make coffee. He'll always make his coffee, bro. I'm wiping crud out my eye. I'm like, yo, bro, what song is that? Like, because I had later classes. He had early morning. Like his classes were like at 8. My classes were at like 9:45, 10.
Oh,
So
okay.
a little bit of a difference. Like still
Right.
kind of, but a little different. Like his classes started at 8, so 7 in the morning he up. So but he was always playing like hard music that I fucked with. Like and I just be asking him. So kind of like when I got that news, I was just like, fuck. Like losing him was just one of them. Like it just stung, because he had so much more to give to the world that the world may never see. So but they will see it, because now I'm carrying him with me. Same with Cozy. But all of
100%.
that was the same year. Like all of that was the same year.
Well, I'm really sorry for both of your losses and what you've experienced as far as that. It's not easy dealing with all those emotions, especially when you're so close with people too. You talked about your boy telling you that a week before he passed, and you could go through every different scenario of like why he told you that, and maybe he told you that for a reason of some sort, and he was moving on to maybe the next chapter of his life, and
Right.
maybe it was perceived differently, and none of it makes sense, especially when it's young people. Like I
Yeah.
hate to say it in a sense. I actually went to a funeral this morning before this. One of my my dad's uncle passed. And when an uncle passes, or maybe you went to funerals with your father and they're older and it's maybe kind of expected, it's still really sad and means a lot still. But it's way different to going to a funeral service with someone who's young and had so much life left to live too as well. And I'm part of the reason why I also too like ask maybe some specific questions is to maybe allow you and give an artist some space to talk about this stuff. And I'm glad that you're comfortable enough to mention that stuff, because it really sounds like you have a great memory of them, and it's really admirable to see that you live on in their memory. So thank you for sharing that, because I know it's not easy. The next song set of lyrics I would like to talk about is "Card Declined." I'm a big fan of that song, and this set of this verse kind of stood out to me, this part of it. You say, and one day if I have a nephew, I'll tell him the essentials of Mecca. Within you are a God. The power within is one. I couldn't budge if I tried. Where there was no sun, they pointed guns and flipped the odds. And reading a lot of your lyrics like this to you, and learning that you're very rooted in poetry, I feel like I'm
You see it
reading.
now. You see it
Oh, I
now.
see it, man. I see it. I'm so happy you
I
said that.
like what Mavi say. I make the songs you gotta read, baby. Literally, literally.
I love that. I love that. And so it just makes, and you make me think. I listen, and you you promote intellectual thought in a lot of your music, which I like. It's like a brain exercise. So talk about that part, and maybe what Card Decline's about, and maybe that part of the song too as well.
Yeah, I mean, before even before I signed, like, cause I'm on the indie label. Before I signed to the label, when you're an independent artist, like I've had different distribution deals, but never no crazy advances or crazy or any money funding like the overall vision. Like the most help I've had is from money I've made from doing features, help I've had from family members. Like that's the most I've had like in my musical journey, which I'm grateful for all of the help that I've had, but I've never had no substantial amount of money given for my art. So in that song, I can attest to certain times where my card has physically declined, and I literally had to get in the car, gather and collect myself, and go about my day, and then have them conversations with my mom, like, I gotta make something shake. Like I gotta pour into all of my resources and not have this feeling, like that feeling when you swiping your card and you think you have the money there and it's not there. Because whatever bill happened, or just the fact that I don't have my bills on auto pay. Like I plan in my calendar, this bill will get done on this and this will get done on this. Like, and a lot of people live like that. So
It's
I
a
kind of wanted
luxury.
to,
It's a luxury to have your bills on auto pay, in
yeah,
my
that's a
opinion.
luxury. That's a luxury. And the fact that having your bills be paid is a luxury just shows you how we're just so desensitized to how capitalism really just fucks us over in the long run, to the place where we don't understand what a true sense of peace is, because peace shouldn't come from financial stability. It should come from mental stability. Like the fact that a lot of people don't understand that concept is an uncommon practice and a foul practice, that is a man-made practice. Like it's one of those things where I just kind of try to make songs where I'm like, I'm not the rapper with 17 chains on, because I don't have that. Like literally, like, that's just not me. Like and even if I had the resources to do that, that's not something I necessarily teaches on. Like what you want to like, but that's not necessarily what I'm advocating for, or what I have. I only can advocate from what I've seen or what I'm trying to obtain, and that's not necessarily what I have. Like my car has declined hella times. Like, and I know I got hella friends. I've been with them where their cars have declined. So it's like it's certain things I just try to channel. And then even with '05 Honda, I know a lot of people like the fact that I can give you a sense of pride in your bucket, like or whatever bucket you have, like just giving you a sense of pride of where you are in life. Cause I mean, you in your journey, like you might be pulling up in the craziest whip, in 5 months from now, you don't know. You really don't know. So it's kind of like, it's one of those things where you just got to keep an open mind and don't be afraid to share your story. Like, I'm just giving, literally on that song, for example, I'm chronologically giving you events that I went through. Like, I'm telling you what my dad was playing. I'm telling you what my cousins did. I'm telling you what video games we was into. I'm telling you when I swiped my card and I had to call my mama because I was stressing, saying like, damn, how am I about to pay this bill? And like, she had to really like coach me through it and like guide me through being like, I went through the same things you went through. Like, those are real, like when you having them heart to hearts with your people, when you at that age where you out in the world, like those are real things that we go through. So it's like, I try to channel all of that in the project, and it kind of embodies all of those different emotions of when you want to scream. And that moment when I was in there, you know how bad I wanted to scream, fuck. Like when my car declined and I couldn't, I had to just take it and be like, let me go in the car and see if I got another car, and then dip off. Like just those small like emotions that I felt that a lot of other people have felt. I tried to channel on the project, you know.
The next song is Nature Sings. And I just want to break down these real quick. Life divide evenly, pride keep deceiving me. I keep on running, I'm out of breath. I summon the love in a broken quest. Keep shrugging the luggage of all of my loved ones' mane. Checking on Pops, really praying he's straight. I'm a reflection of him curving a cycle of pain.
Right.
That set of lyrics, man, so
That's his
self-reflective.
favorite song. That's his favorite song on
That's
that
his
project.
that's his favorite song. Wow.
Him and my mama, they love that song. Yeah.
Talk about that. Talk about the mental headspace you were in when you made that, and maybe what the purpose of that was.
Bro, it really started with the beginning of the song. God forbid my life written off one decision. I know a lot of people off of one decision alter their whole life, like literally alter their whole life. And I sometimes I gotta remind myself, like, God forbid I end up doing the wrong thing when I have so much to give, not only to all of the people who I affect, but to myself. I had to start. Like, I'm manifesting it. Like, God forbid that happens. I hope only the greatest things will come to me and in abundance for all the people around me and all the people I encounter. So when I made that song, I kind of like that year, my pops, he was going through like he was just battling addiction. He was going through certain things with drinking, and it was unknown knowledge to the whole family. But besides my mother was the only one who knew, and she kind of kept it to herself for a little minute. And it kind of like I'm close with my pops. I kind of see him like on some big brother, you know. We just got that dynamic. Like, I smoke with my pops at the time. Like, we just have that type of like I'm like the little bro he never had, you know. So kind of like that not being told to me, I kind of felt like, damn, like you could really think somebody has it all together and they really don't. But like I said, like me and him, we're so close because out of the family, me and him go to the most funerals. So we just share, like we just share, we bond in that way. Like, it's crazy. Me and him was talking about, I was like, bro, we gotta do something. And whenever you come back to the city, don't visit me for a funeral. Like visit me for something else. Like, we gotta start pouring back into positive, like
Right.
times of kinship, or like positive gatherings, like where we're together, where we're enjoying each other's company, and it isn't in the form of grieving, you know. So when I made that song, literally, like, that's the main reason why I put Nature Sings, because it's crazy how everything resorts back to nature. All right, all comes in some way or some way, and it's crazy how even addiction could be singing the loudest of volumes and be dead silent to your ears in front of you. Because I didn't see him hella times and did not know he was struggling with that. Certain times him talking to me, just saying he didn't want to feel weak, like because of our relationship, and then me being I'm the youngest, I'm the youngest son, I'm the only son, so it's kind of like that in itself. Like, you don't want to pour or project like on your, you know, like on your son. I'm struggling with something and I need help. I need help. I need help.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like I didn't make that song that, like, you know, like, and same in the hook. It's the last call, not for alcohol, but the trauma involved. Like we let's talk about it. Like, you probably, because I've had certain conversations with him with certain things that I went through. They probably didn't know that I went through, and I'll just letting them know, like, sometimes you can't suppress that. You have to let that out. And I performed it in New Orleans, and I was getting emotional. I was choking up on stage because it's like, this is coming from a real place. Like, and the fact that they appreciate it and it doesn't feel like I'm belittling them, I executed the vision the correct way. You know, I have grown substantially since my last project, or just mentally, spiritually, physically, like and creatively, like in all aspects. I feel like I've grown a lot, and I want to channel that the best way I can in how I convey this project. And right now, tentatively, like I want to name it They Ain't Want Us. And I came up with the concept for different people like in life, where me saying they ain't want us does not always have to be a negative connotation behind it. Being that you can be in a situation of feeling unwanted to go to the situation where you thrive the best. And that feeling of unwanting, or feeling of systems in place to make you feel unwanted, just pushes you further and further, and almost forces you into your own tribe, or into a place where you can actually grow and actually be the best version of yourself. So kind of with this project, I ended up indirectly, it worked out this way. It's crazy how life works, and just alignment, divine timing. The song names, like damn near, like I want to say like 4 of them or 5 of them, the song names speak to different backgrounds of people feeling unwanted, and that's what the name of the songs will be. Like the intro is called Liquid, and not as in physically being liquid. A lot of people of my background are not financially liquid, and a lot of people don't want us to be that way. So that's why I named it Liquid. It's just, and then another song, I got a song with Luke Titus called Guilt Free. And a lot of people don't want you to be guilt free, you know? So it's just like, having that survivor's guilt. Like I got a song called Survivor's Guilt on my first project, and it's kind of like all of these things are wrapping into the evolution of like where I'm coming now. And it's crazy. I have 10 producers on like 6 songs. It's 6 songs and it's 10 different producers. Like, so it's like, it's crazy that I've been able to cultivate this community over time to just push me to make better things. And I will say, like, even with the label pushing me to just be better, or like make something worthy of being listened to, and not just something that I was making 2 years ago or 3 years ago or 4 years ago for that matter. Just trying to execute a vision that holds weight in what people are feeling now. And I do feel like it's a shift of consciousness and creativity in right now. And I made a song yesterday. I'm so excited, bro. I have to put it on the project. I
Is
think
that
I'm gonna make it one of the
is this one that you made yesterday your favorite so far?
um I my favorite changes, cause I really fuck with the intro. The intro is very hard. It's very jazzy. It kind of reminds me of Venna. Um, I don't even know what I say my favorite is right now. I like them for different reasons, but I will say the one I made yesterday, it's just feeling. Like the feeling I got listening to it is the same feeling I got the first time I heard Money Trees by Kendrick.
To listen to
It's
that
just
song for the first
the
time again.
frequency. Yeah, to listen to that song for the first time again, you remember where you were. I
Mhm.
remember, I remember, I vividly remember where I was the first time I heard Sherane, and I was looking at the clouds like, what the fuck is this? Like when the moves started coming in, like that same feeling I had the first time I heard Money Trees is kind of how I felt when I made this song yesterday that I'm trying to put on the project. It's called Hideaway, and I'm waiting on vocalists to put some harmonies on it, like on the like I damn near I'm emulating like kind of how Anna Wise was, like be the last one not to get this dope, no way, like that energy,
Okay.
like it's an energy thing. They don't sound the same, but it's just more so like it's a certain energy and it's a certain frequency that I tapped into that I don't think a lot of people are going to expect from me. But I don't know why. Like, but at the same time, like even when I sent it back to Curdy, he didn't expect me to hop on it the way I did. But it has a certain bounce. Like it has a certain bounce. It's jazzy. Like it's like imagine like heavy 808s mixed in with like saxophone going in and out. Is very psychedelic, but it knocks, like it knocks. But if you listen to the words that I'm saying, like I'm basically like in the song, like I call it Hideaway. I talk about like a certain time I was in a relationship where I wasn't that faithful, but in that relationship I knew the other person wasn't, but she didn't know that I knew that she wasn't too. So it's kind
Mm.
of like we both playing a game
It's like
between
this
our
toxic cycle of some sort. Yeah.
yeah, like we both playing a game between our friend groups. And like, bro, I gotta find that lyric, bro. I just wrote this. Cause we're bringing up lyrics. Like there's a lyric I
Hell
say
yeah.
on there that it kind of embodies like how I feel in this song. And it's crazy that you were bringing up lyrics that I said today. I think it's in my notes. In the but the song's called Hideaway. I'm super excited for that. I damn near think it could be one of them songs that give me like it could give me some attention for sure. It's just the beat is nice. Like this is one of the moments where it's like I can see like I guess certain people who I'm listening to who are mainstream, this would be the song they will repost.
I love that.
There's a line, yeah, where I say, "So what you the goddess, not Judas? Like your partners give guidance, you foolish, and that they would just leave you a tumor." That's how the line goes. Where I'm basically like she it's crazy toxicity like in it, because like it's another line I go in there. I say, by the time I find love, it's the trauma, the drama, the job is I'm clueless. Had a fight with a mother, the judgment I left, and then fucked on her cousin, I'm clueless. Now she hollering, Kyle, why would you do this? Look me in my eyes and still do this. Look me in my eyes and it do me so bad. Like, so what, you a goddess, not Judas? Like your partners give guidance, you foolish. Like it's just like it's crazy how this discourse between man and woman is, where it's like, okay, I did wrong, as most men do. Like most men are don't hold themselves accountable for what they do to women, but at the same time, when you cut, you cut. All right, but don't be hypocritical. Like, don't be hypocritical that it's not on both sides. Like, so it's kind of like I'm just in this moment where I know I've disappointed you, but at the same time, this feeling is mutual. I'm also disappointed. Like I'm disappointed in myself, and I'm also disappointed that you reciprocated the same energy. You know,
It's a
it's one
double-edged
of
sword. It's a
the double-edged
double-edged
sword.
sword, you know? And
Yeah,
that's probably
but
one of those songs too. It does have a deeper meaning of maybe a dynamic of a toxic relationship of some sort. But on surface level, I think what'll resonate with people is how it makes them just feel. And I love to hear that you chase the feeling that you get from songs like Money Trees.
mhm.
You let that feeling inspire another song that creates that same feeling for another young person. Like how crazy is that you have the power to do that?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a, it's a,
it is
it's
crazy.
amazing. And yeah, man, I'm gonna be looping together that verse that you just said just so I could listen to it
Yeah.
over and over. That's awesome. Uh, great set of lyrics right there, very well written, and I appreciate you giving me a little sneak peek into what's to come for the rest of the year. And lastly, I like to do this kind of rapid fire fun question kind of round to end the interview, and then yeah, we'll wrap things up. Does that sound good?
Oh, solid. Yeah, appreciate you again having me on and making space to hear my thoughts from my little crazy self.
Hey man,
I feel like
we're
I'm
all
crazy sometimes.
I'm here to listen at the end of the day. No one's watching this to hear me talk, I'll tell you that. And at the same time, I'd love to learn about artists and give them that space. And I'm a fan at the end of the day too. And thank you for sitting through this
Right.
long-winded interview. It's been a lot of fun. Next question is, if you could form a team of hip hop Avengers, what five artists are you choosing? Maybe not think too mainstream because everyone talks about them. Think about maybe
Mhm.
your circle and maybe who you know. It's up to you. You got five Avengers. You could include yourself too.
Okay. If I'm including myself, of course, I'm gonna put Wakai, put Soul, I'm gonna put Jeremy, I'm gonna put Asha, and then fifth, I'm gonna put Marco. I'm gonna put Marco. I'll probably put Marco fifth.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I love that. I love that
This is
list.
hit, mind you, this is hip hop Avengers.
Yes, hip hop Avengers. I mean, you
I didn't
could.
have no singles, like,
We'll be here all day if we talk about all the
yeah, you
different
talking about
genres.
singles.
I mean,
Then we getting surgical because I
oh
got
my
something.
god, there's so much
Oh,
good R&B out there. I mean, it's
yeah,
ridiculous.
being that I got the space, I gotta plug my homie Sailor. Like
Sailor,
she
okay,
yeah, it's like Sailor with two R's at the end. She just she has two features on Nascent's new project.
okay.
She has a song on there called Mangosteen.
Mangosteen. Okay, I'll remember. I'll write that
And
one
I
down.
didn't recommend you listen to that when we get out the car, bro. I'm about to make your day. Mangosteen is crazy. When I say she is just
Mangosteen.
she is a star. She's literally a star. Like it be times where I be like, we were just in LA together.
Sailor with two R's.
Yeah, Sailor. Yeah, her
Sailor.
name used to be Sailor Goon, but now she's just Sailor.
I'll
She is
definitely listen to it after this.
she is so special. She's from Florida. One of the homies, but she's just gifted, bro. Like her songwriting is crazy in her range, bro. It's just like she just got one of them like voices where you like it's only a matter of time. You just need one song. Like you just need she's one song away. Like that's how I always be telling her, like you one song away. Like literally like just keep putting it out. I promise it's gonna happen, you know?
I
So
love
yeah,
that.
shout out Sailor.
Sailor. All right. I will listen to her and I'll listen to that song specifically and I'll let you know what I
Yeah,
think
Mango
because
Steam.
I'm
I'm telling
always
you, bro.
looking for new
That's
tunes.
my favorite
Thank you.
song. That's my favorite song right now, bro. I kept replaying it. I was pissing myself off. Like I get 30 seconds in and be like, she do this one run, like maybe like 25 seconds in. I'm like, it's unfair. Like, bro, it's damn near unfair. Like you just naturally gifted. Like some people got it, you know?
Right. No, 100%. All right. Shout out Sailor. I'll check her out. What are some of your biggest goals you want to accomplish within the next 5 years with music and also in your personal life? What would you like to manifest as we wrap this conversation up?
I think in the next 5 years, on a personal level, I want I want my resource to be stronger than the amount of streams I have. I think I think the numbers shouldn't matter. I think the things I've done and I want to have hundreds of thousands of people having different stories of how I've helped them versus hundreds of thousands of people being like, I know these lyrics. I think I like the older I get, it's gonna be more of me trying to get off the actual goal and like the actual purpose of why I started writing in the beginning. And but on a I guess surface level, like creatively, I would like to start forming my own festival and like some kind of thing in Baton Rouge that they've never had, right? And bringing people from around the world, like artists that, because I in the next 5 years, bro, I'm gonna travel the world for sure. So it's gonna get to the point where I have these connections that I built up to where I can invest into the city and actually be something fruitful for the children. You know, I think that'd be probably the greatest contribution I could do, and then maybe having some kind of communal building where homeless people can be there and not feel like the need of being forced out of society and being able to like re-implement themselves into society from them understanding what a true communal experience is, and that community not pushing away the same people who were used to be in it or in essence are from it, you know. So having some type of communal space for homeless people and like impoverished people, and then probably like creating a festival for Baton Rouge because they never had one. You know, I think that would be the greatest contribution I could do within these next 5 years.
I cannot wait for all of that stuff to happen. You're one of those people who says something and you will it into existence. And I believe it. I 100% believe it. It's been such a pleasure talking with you today, man. Just chopping it up, learning about you. I appreciate your
Thank you,
time
bro.
for real. And yeah, we're gonna look back on this and you're gonna do all that stuff. It's very, very special and you come from a very pure intent. And I think that's the most important thing when it comes to artists sharing their art. So Wakai, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate it, bro. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And hey, bump Mangosteen by Sailor.
I will bump Mangosteen. So to everyone watching at home, I'm your host, A.T Bianco. You're watching Loud Music Only. This has been our fun interview with Wakai. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.